Alright, hey guys, and welcome back for another MOTU Origins Wave 3 review. As this week I'm going to be taking a look at the 2021 MOTU Origins Mer-Man. Now, Mer-Man's always been one of my favorite figures in the entire series. He's just so goofy and funny, and I love him because he has the same face style as Stinkor, and Stinkor is another one of my favorite characters, and I can't wait till they release him. But now let's just take a look at the Mer-Man we got here for Wave 3. Now, everything's basically the same as you've seen in all the other waves. You know, you got the New for 21 logo up in the top, the modern posing retro play call-out and the starburst there, the blue sky with the Masters of the Universe logo with Mer-Man Ocean Warlord, the Mattel logo down there in the bottom corner, and of course we got Mer-Man on the blister card here, with the Dimensional Doom comic that comes with all the figures in this wave. So, you know, this looks great right off the bat. The packaging looks excellent as always. Let's flip this around and check out the awesome artwork on the back here. And as always, they do a fantastic job. And I tell you, I really wish I had looked at a lot more detail of some of these card backs here, because there's so much stuff that I missed that I didn't realize. Well, number one, we got Mer-Man fighting underwater, you know, with his classic corncob sword. You got him using the all the creatures of the deep. You got a barracuda, a jellyfish, some crazy piranha-looking thing, and an octopus. You got another type of crazy fish, sea monster up there. And then up in the top corner here, we have Battle Armor Skeletor, and we have Battle Armor He-Man. But check it out, Battle Armor Skeletor is riding Spydor! Oh my god, that's so cool. So I really hope that means that we'll see a Spydor release, because that's another awesome vehicle. All Skeletor's vehicles are just freaking awesome. And then we have the little caption here: lurking in the darkest depths of the ocean, Mer-Man awaits Skeletor's orders to attack Eternia's surface worlds. You can see him just lurking there, and the octopus is looking up, and kind of looks like something happened. He's like, yo, Mer-Man. He's like, really? Right now? That's when you got to do that? And anyway, we got the, of course, the call out here where you would have the normal power features where it shows fit the Sword of Rakash in his hand. I always forget that's what it's called. Everybody just calls it the corncob sword for obvious reasons, because it just looks like a corn on the cob. And then it shows down below, twist into powerful battle positions, of course, because 99% of these figures don't have any type of power punch or action feature. And then we have the standard six-pack, as always, with He-Man and Skeletor being your standard figures, She-Ra, Roboto, Zodak, and Mer-Man, Ocean Warlord. So another fantastic-looking card, and the artwork looks great as always. I kind of wish they didn't put the starburst on the back there, because the original ones never had that, and I never really noticed that before, but it really throws off the flow. You know, if you block that out, you get a nice, just better image. So it's something I wish they would look at, and like, why are you destroying such put that down there. It's already on the put it on the front of the package. Don't put it over this awesome artwork that somebody took a long time to draw and ink. But that's a really minor detail. So anyway, let's get him flipped around here, and we'll take him out of the package. We'll take a look at everything that he comes with, and then I'll also do a side-by-side comparison with the Origins Mer-Man and the Vintage. Alright, so now we've got our MOTU Origins Mer-Man all out of the package and off the blister card, and let's see everything that you get with him. So of course you get the same comic that you do with all the figures in this wave, which is the Dimensional Doom comic, which is a pretty nice little mini comic in this series. So if you haven't seen that, check my first video out on this wave, and you can see the whole thing in its entirety. And of course we have Mer-Man himself here. And this is a really excellent looking figure. Again, one of the things that you'll notice that's a little bit different with almost all these figures is the colors are extremely bright. So that's something you have to adjust to a little bit if you're going to compare these to the Vintage. But I think he looks really, really good because all the colors are uniform. So I think that's what makes the bright colors work in the Origins line. It's because they all complement each other. And then, of course, he comes with his Sword of Rakash, or a corncob sword, whatever you feel like calling it. And I really, really like this sword because this is a good, it's flexible, but it's a hard plastic. So kind of like She-Ra's accessories, like it's not overly rubbery, and it just has some really, really great detail, as you can see up close on it here. And I really like the fact that, you know, that they aren't shirking on detail and quality when it comes to the accessories. I'm glad this isn't some type of just rubbery, flexible nonsense like the armor. Although I do think that the armor is good. As you can see, his armor here. The little bow tie kind of mid-chest plate piece thingy, that does not move. That's just one unit right there, so that doesn't move at all. And the great thing about these that I like over the original plastic is that these will probably never break unless you tear them. So the other plastic, you know, they're brittle, they can snap. This is designed for longevity and wear, so I think that's a really great thing that they're doing with all the armor and a lot of the accessories. The details on the face are really good. I'm sure there'll definitely be some differences when I do the comparison against the original, but overall pretty good. I do think the oranges could stand to be a little bit of a darker or brighter orange. The teeth and face look good. His ears up at the top, they're scalloped nicely and look exactly how they should look. He has the fins, but these are kind of typical to Skeletor and everyone else, which I never really understood, because it makes more sense that only certain characters, like maybe Merman, Stratos, and possibly Beastman, should have any type of a fin for swimming or flying or other activities like that. So it doesn't really make any sense that Skeletor has that. Aside from that, he has his standard loincloth and belt, which should be a darker green. Again, orange should be a little bit darker, but, you know, not bad. I think he still looks really good. I like how the armor in the back attaches exactly the way that you would see it in the original vintage figure. The way you can tighten it down and then it clips in the back there. And then, of course, we have the same type of articulation, and also known for the interchangeable body parts as well, where the head is on a ball pivot, which you can remove. The arms also are on ball pivots that you can remove. The front forearms rotate completely around. The hands rotate completely around. And you can pop the hands off and interchange them and turn at the waist. The legs have some flexibility. The knees and shins can move all the way around. The ankles can move back and forth. And all that can be interchanged and swapped out. So there's a lot of cool customization if you just want to, you know, go to town and mix and match your figures. That's always fun. And now let's give him his Sword of Rakash here. And the hilt for this I really like because it's nice and wide, so that way it has some. He's able to grab onto it really well, because a lot of the other figures like He-Man and stuff, it's missing the half part of the hilt, which I know it's because you have to combine the two halves of the sword together, but then it makes it just kind of like flunk out of his hands, and you know, that's no fun really. You know, you want him to be able to stand there and hold his sword and, you know, pose him however you want, and, you know, have him look cool, you know, that he's going to be getting into battles and stuff like that. So overall, I think that the MOTU Origins looks really good. I think he's a great addition to the series. So now we'll do a quick side-by-side comparison with the Origins Mer-Man and the Vintage Mer-Man. Alright, so here we have the MOTU Origins 2021 Mer-Man and the 1983 Vintage Mer-Man for a side-by-side comparison. Now, right off the bat, I'm doing them just in their normal stances right out of the box. So this is Mer-Man in his straight leg stance, and you can see that he probably stands about a half of an inch taller than the Vintage Mer-Man. And aside from that, the color differences are pretty big. As you can see with the Vintage Mer-Man, he has a much darker green, kind of like a green aquamarine type color. Also, the armor is this gold type look. His Sword of Rakash, not really. I almost can't find any differences in that. One thing I have said with this line is that the accessories are usually very on point. The plastic has kind of warped a little bit over time, but other than that, not really damaged at all. And this is what I was mentioning before here, is where this little part of his armor is able to move. I never understood that for some reason, so it's not a big deal that it doesn't move on the new one and it's one piece. It's just one less thing to break. I do like the style of the armor better on the vintage. I just think it has a little bit more detail, a little bit more definition. I kind of don't like the addition of the extra fins on the top here. These are like 3/4 fins or half fins, and these are full. So I do think the armor looks better. Again, you can see the orange is a much darker color. And then actually in this, I was mistaken. His belt is completely orange. So this is just a total miscoloration right here. That whole thing should be orange, because that isn't even green at all. The face is kind of similar. The Origins one is a little bit wider. Obviously, he has some quite heavy paint damage, but you can still see most of the really good details. And I think the way that this is brought in with the paint, it doesn't extend quite as wide over the other fins of his face, and his mouth is open, and his eyes, at least the one good one that you can see, they really look more direct and beady, and he just looks more menacing than the Origins one. The Origins one just looks kind of silly. And then on the back here, we have the same, the same armor hookup there. So, like I said before, that is one thing that they're getting right on these, is the accessories really, really, really look good. And then I don't know if his power punch, oh, it does, yeah. His power punch works. Hopefully his sword doesn't go flying. But that's one thing that you're missing out of this new wave of the figures. And now let's do Merman here. We'll do him in as good of a stout-legged position, as we can get for him. So we can get him as close to vintage height as possible. And just really see how they look. And there we are. So that's about as close as I can get them to match up here at the same height. And not bad, I have to say. I mean, I think that Mer-Man is one of the better done figures so far in the series. There could have been a little bit of improvement in the face. I'm not going to lie. I think there was definitely some room for improvement there. But I don't think it looks horrible. It's nothing as terrible as we've seen, like with the original He-Man or with She-Ra. This, I think, is really on par, and you could really see with this wave how they were trying to improve and correct a lot of the mistakes they had made in previous waves, and I think he's a really good-looking figure. So overall, I would probably give the Origins Mer-Man, I would give him a rating on a grade scale. I would give him probably a B+, at least a solid B. I don't know if I'd go that far as a B+, but a B to a B+. I think he's really well done and really compares well, aside from the coloration, to the original vintage Mer-Man. So if you guys see him around and he's still available, definitely pick him up if you're into the vintage or if you're into the MOTU Origins line. He's a really cool addition to the lineup. I think he looks great, comes with some fun accessories, and is, great to pair up with Skeletor and the rest of your evil villains. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this MOTU Origins review. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the MOTU Origins 2021 Mer-Man with me today, and I will see you back here next time for another MOTU Origins review. Take care.
Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me at Facebook at King of Retro or Twitter at #8ByteBrian. See you next time.